I never thought I'd be standing in an empty apartment, watching my ex-husband announce his engagement on the evening news. Yet here I was, surrounded by moving boxes and bitter memories, while Casey beamed at the cameras with his new fiancée draped across his arm. My name is Jessica, and 6 months ago I had it all. Or so I thought. A loving marriage, a growing business consulting firm, and a comfortable life in Boston's elite circles. Now I was facing foreclosure. My reputation was in tatters, and the man I'd built a life with was flaunting his new love story on Channel 5. The Wright family is thrilled to announce the engagement of Casey Wright to Martina Davidson, the reporter chirped. The couple will wed this fall at the prestigious Davidson estate. I hurled my coffee mug at the TV. It missed, leaving an ugly brown stain on the wall I'd no longer have to clean. "Jess?" Esther's voice called from the doorway. I brought boxes and wine, lots of wine. My best friend stood there, arms full of packing supplies and 2 bottles of Merlot. She took one look at my face and the coffee-stained wall and immediately understood. "You saw it, didn't you?" "They're getting married at her daddy's estate," I laughed bitterly, sinking to the floor. "Because of course they are." Esther sat beside me, uncorking the wine. "Here's to rock bottom," she said, passing me the bottle. "The only way is up from here." "That's what I thought when I caught them together," I said, taking a long swig. "Then when he drained our accounts, then when his mother got me arrested on false fraud charges, turns out rock bottom has a basement." "Wait, what do you mean he drained the accounts?" I pulled out my phone, showing her the banking app. "Everything, personal and business. He transferred it all 3 days before serving me divorce papers. Left me with exactly $247.83. "But that's illegal," Esther exclaimed. "Your lawyer—" "Was his family friend," I cut in, "who convinced me to sign papers while I was still in shock. By the time I realized what happened, it was too late." My phone buzzed. Another Instagram notification from Savannah, Casey's sister. She'd posted a photo from their engagement party captioned, "Some people marry for love, others for money. Guess which gold digger just got kicked to the curb? Gale Karma is a bitch." "I trusted them," I whispered, my voice cracking. "His whole family welcomed me in. Denise called me daughter. Savannah was like my sister. Now they're all pretending I'm some fortune hunter who tried to ruin their precious Casey." Esther grabbed my phone and deleted Instagram. "They're not worth your energy right now. We need to focus on getting you out of here before—" A sharp knock interrupted her. "Ms. Woods?" a male voice called. "Marshal's office. We're here to execute the foreclosure notice." Esther squeezed my hand. "Back door?" she whispered. I nodded, grabbing my pre-packed emergency bag. We slipped out through the kitchen as heavy footsteps entered the front. In Esther's car, I finally let the tears fall. 5 years of marriage, 8 years of building my business, all gone in 6 months. My phone buzzed again. A text from an unknown number. Saw the news. "Need a friend? I might have an interesting business proposition." Francisco. Francisco had been my mentor years ago, before Casey convinced me to cut ties with him. Said he was too familiar with his female mentees. Now I wondered if that had been part of the isolation campaign. "Who's Francisco?" Esther asked, glancing at my phone. "Someone who might be able to help," I replied, typing a quick response. "And right now, I'll take all the help I can get." As we drove away from my old life, the news replay caught my eye on a store's TV display. There was Casey again, standing with Martina in front of that magnificent estate. The same estate where he had proposed to me, actually, where his mother had welcomed me into the family with fake tears and faker hugs. Something shifted inside me. The hurt was still there, but now it had edges, sharp ones. "Esther," I said quietly, "I think I'm done crying." She glanced at me, concerned. "That's good? They think they've destroyed me, that I'll slink away and disappear." I straightened in my seat, watching the city lights blur past. But they forgot something important. "What's that?" "I built our company from nothing once before. I can do it again." I pulled up Francisco's message, and this time I won't have anyone holding me back. As I hit reply, Casey's smug face flashed on another TV screen we passed. He looked so confident, so certain of his victory. He had no idea what was coming. None of them did. Francisco's office hadn't changed in 3 years. Same leather chairs, same view of the Boston skyline, same knowing smile as he studied me across his desk. "You look different," he said, gesturing for me to sit. "Rock bottom will do that to you?" "No." He leaned forward. "You look dangerous." I smiled for the first time in weeks. Francisco had always seen right through me. "So," he said, pulling up something on his tablet, "I hear the Davidson estate is hosting quite the event this fall." My smile faltered. "If you invited me here to discuss my ex's wedding, I invited you here because that estate just hit the market." He turned the tablet toward me. "Privately, of course, Harvey Davidson is liquidating some assets before his daughter's wedding, trying to keep it quiet." I stared at the listing. The price made my head spin. "And you're showing me this because..." "Because," a new voice said from the doorway, "we think you should buy it." Kennedy, Francisco's partner, walked in with a stack of folders. She'd aged like fine wine since I'd last seen her, elegant and sharp in her tailored suit. "Buy it?" I laughed. "I'm literally staying on Esther's couch." "Your old company's profits," Kennedy said, spreading documents across the desk. "The ones Casey stole? We traced them. He's been moving money through shell companies, but he got sloppy." My heart raced. "How did you—" "I never stopped watching out for you," Francisco said softly, "even when you pushed me away." Shame coloured my cheeks. Casey said, "I know what he said." Francisco waved it away. "Water under the bridge. What matters is we can prove the money's yours. Kennedy's already drafted the paperwork." "With interest," Kennedy added with a predatory smile. "Lots of interest." I picked up one of the folders, scanning the numbers. "Even with this, the estate's worth millions, which is why you'll need investors." Francisco pulled out another document. "Kennedy and I are in for 30%. Silent partners." "Why would you do this?" Kennedy perched on the desk edge. "Because we've watched that family destroy too many people. Because you deserve justice. And..." She smirked. "Because imagining their faces when they realize who owns their precious venue is priceless." A knock interrupted us. A young woman entered, clutching a tablet nervously. "Sorry to interrupt," she said, "but you needed to see this. It's about the wedding." "Jessica, meet Camilla," Francisco said. "She's coordinating the Wright Davidson wedding." My eyes widened. "You're their wedding planner?" Camilla nodded. "And I thought you should see what the mother of the groom shared in their private wedding group." She handed me her tablet. A video played. Denise, clearly tipsy, giving what looked like a practice speech. "Now, while some women try to trap men with fake infertility claims," Denise slurred, "my Casey finally found a real woman who can give him the family he deserves." The tablet cracked in my grip. "Sorry," I whispered, but Camilla shook her head. "Don't be. They're horrible people. That's why I came to Francisco when I saw your name in the old client files." I looked at the three of them, Francisco, Kennedy, Camilla, all watching me with mixture of concern and determination. "If we do this," I said slowly, "it has to be perfect. They can't know until it's too late." Kennedy grinned. "Already handled. The holding company's untraceable. The sale will be private. As far as anyone knows, you're just another client Francisco's helping get back on her feet." "And I'll keep you updated on every detail," Camilla added. "They won't suspect a thing." I picked up the estate contract, remembering all the parties I'd attended there. The garden where Casey proposed, the ballroom where Denise first welcomed me to the family, the same ballroom where they'd soon celebrate my replacement. "One condition," I said, looking at Francisco. "I want to renovate before the wedding, change everything they loved about it." He nodded. "Done." "And Jessica?" Kennedy called as I reached for the pen. "The karma they deserve? It's just getting started." I signed my name with steady hands. The same hands that had once built a business from scratch, that had wiped away tears of betrayal, that had packed up a broken life. Now they were signing the first page of my revenge. "Send the contracts to Harvey Davidson," I told Kennedy. "Let's see how quickly he sells his daughter's dream venue to a stranger." As I left Francisco's office, my phone buzzed. Another social media notification. Martina this time, posting photos of the estate. Can't wait to become Mrs. Right in this magical place. Right way to love. I saved the photo. Soon it would make a lovely before picture for when I transformed her magical place into my personal kingdom, and their perfect day into their worst nightmare. The new owner's here to inspect the renovations, I announced, striding past the construction crew in my designer suit and hard hat. Amazing how a clipboard and confidence could get you anywhere. 3 weeks of ownership, and I'd already changed everything. The romantic garden arbor, now a modern sculpture garden. The antique chandeliers, replaced with sleek LED installations. Every change carefully timed to be completed just before the wedding. Miss Woods? A worker approached. We found something in the East Wing office. I followed him upstairs, heart pounding as voices echoed from the hallway. Familiar voices. The renovations are ghastly, Denise complained. What kind of Philistine bought this place? I ducked into the office just as she and Savannah rounded the corner. Through the crack in the door, I watched them pause at the new art installation. At least Daddy got a good price, Savannah said, though I still can't believe he sold without telling Martina first. Money troubles, Denise sniffed. Not that we'll mention that at the wedding. They moved on, and I finally breathed. The worker handed me a folder he'd found behind a filing cabinet. Looked important, he said. Lot of financial documents. Back in the estate's surveillance room, my new command centre, I spread out the papers. Bank statements, transfer records, emails, all belonging to Martina. Holy shit, I whispered, dialing Francisco. Tell me you're not still at the estate, he answered. Denise and Savannah are gone, but listen to this. Martina's been embezzling from her father's company. Millions! And I shuffled through emails. She's hiding money from Casey too. Offshore accounts. Like mother, like son, Francisco muttered. Speaking of family secrets, check your email. I pulled up my phone. There it was, a chain of emails between Casey and Savannah from last year. Casey, she's getting suspicious, Savannah wrote. You need to end it before she finds out about the accounts. File the papers now while she still trusts you. My hands shook. His own sister helped him plan it. Keep reading. I scrolled down. No. She was the one who suggested using their family lawyer. She knew he'd trick me into signing. Jessica, Francisco's voice softened. There's more, about why they were so desperate to act first. Another email loaded, my vision blurred. The business is worth triple what we thought, Casey wrote. If she finds out and files first, she'll get half. Everything we built using Dad's investment. Mum would never forgive me. A noise behind me made me jump. Camilla stood in the doorway, pale-faced. Sorry, she said. But you need to see this too. She pulled up a video on her phone. Martina and Savannah, drunk at the bachelorette party last night. Remember when we got that bitch arrested? Martina slurred. Your mum's friend at the bank was genius, calling in that fraud alert. Best $5,000 we ever spent, Savannah giggled. God, her face when the cops showed up. The phone slipped from my hand. Jessica. Francisco was still on the line. You okay? They set me up, I whispered. The fraud charges, the arrest. It was all planned. And now we have proof. Camilla's eyes gleamed. Along with evidence that Savannah's been trying to seduce Francisco to sabotage your new business connections. That snapped me back. She what? Tried to get me drunk last week, Francisco said. Kept asking about my mysterious new client and if I was single. A message popped up on my laptop. Kennedy had sent security footage from the estate's cameras. There was Savannah, an hour ago, slipping her business card to one of the contractors with her number scrawled on it. She's getting sloppy, Camilla observed, desperate to know who bought the place. Let her wonder, I said, standing. How's the guest list looking? Full house. Everyone who's anyone in Boston society, plus 3 news crews covering the society wedding of the year. Perfect. The bigger the audience, the better. Denise is insisting on giving the opening toast, Camilla added. Something about welcoming her real daughter at last. I smiled, remembering Denise's drunken video about my infertility. Good. Let her have her moment. Jessica, Francisco warned, don't let this consume you. Revenge. This isn't about revenge anymore, I cut him off. This is justice for every woman they've destroyed, every life they've ruined with their lies and money and power. Through the surveillance feeds, I watched Denise and Savannah get into their car. Such confidence, such certainty in their superiority. One week, I told Camilla, make sure everything's perfect for their special day. After they left, I walked the halls of my new kingdom. Every step echoed with memories of past humiliations. Every room held ghosts of their betrayal. Soon those ghosts would have company, and this time, I'd be the one doing the haunting. The mysterious estate owner strikes again. Esther read from her phone, sprawled across my office couch. Local business mogul hosts another star-studded charity gala, identity still unknown. I adjusted my mask in the mirror. Another masquerade for charity event. The perfect way to host parties at my own estate without being recognised. You're enjoying this too much, Esther said, but she was grinning. 3 charity events in 2 weeks, I replied, each one bigger than the last. The society pages can't stop talking about the enigmatic new player in Boston's elite circle. And the wedding's tomorrow. My smile faltered. Yes, tomorrow. A knock interrupted us. Camilla entered, clipboard in hand. The decorators are here. And so is Savannah. What? I spun around. She's not supposed to be here until... She's supervising the setup, Camilla made air quotes, and hitting on every male staff member who'll stand still long enough. I grabbed my mask. Time for the mysterious owner to make an appearance. Downstairs, Savannah was leaning against a pillar, watching the decorators work. She'd lost weight since I'd last seen her up close. Stress, probably, from all her scheming. The roses should be pink, not white, she was saying. My brother's wedding has to be perfect. The bride specified white, I said, approaching with my face obscured. We always follow the client's wishes. Savannah turned, eyes widening at my masked presence. Oh, you must be... The owner, yes. I kept my voice slightly accented, just as I had at the charity events. Is there a problem? No, I just... She straightened, switching to her society smile. I'm Savannah Wright, the groom's sister. I don't believe we've met. I prefer to remain private? Of course. She stepped closer. But surely we could discuss the venue over drinks? I know this charming little... Ms. Wright, I cut her off. I'm quite busy. The roses will remain white. I turned to leave, but her next words stopped me. Shame about the previous owner selling, she said casually. Did you know my brother proposed to his first wife here? In the rose suite upstairs? My hands clenched. How... interesting? She was a gold digger, of course. Nearly ruined him. Thank God I convinced him to leave before she could take everything. I bit my tongue until I tasted blood. Sounds like quite a story. Oh, it is. Savannah smirked. Maybe I'll tell it at the reception tomorrow. Unless you'd like to hear it over that drink? Some other time, I managed, walking away before I could strangle her with her designer scarf. Once alone, I found myself climbing the stairs to the Rose Suite, the room where Casey had promised forever, where he'd sworn I was his soulmate, his future, his everything. I'd renovated every inch of the estate except this room. It remained exactly as it had been that night. Same wallpaper, same furniture, same view of the gardens below. I thought I'd find you here. Francisco stood in the doorway, concern etched on his face. Just checking the setup, I lied. Jessica. He stepped inside. It's okay to feel. I don't feel anything. Really? Because you're crying. I touched my cheek. He was right. I heard Savannah downstairs, he said quietly, trying to dig up information about the owner, about me, about anyone connected to this place. She's desperate. She's dangerous. Francisco handed me a tissue. Kennedy found more evidence. Savannah's been collecting dirt on everyone in their social circle, blackmailing people to keep them quiet about what really happened with you. I laughed bitterly. Of course she has. She always was the smart one. Smart, but not smart enough. He pulled out his phone. Because she just tried to seduce me again, on camera. The video played. Savannah in the garden, pressing against Francisco, whispering about sharing information about the mysterious new owner. Send it to Kennedy, I said. Add it to the evidence file. Jessica, Francisco hesitated. Are you sure about tomorrow? Once this starts? I'm sure. I looked around the room one last time. They took everything from me in this room. Tomorrow, I take everything from them. He nodded slowly. The cameras are set up. Security's briefed. Kennedy's got the legal team ready. And I've got the final surprise, I said, pulling an envelope from my jacket. Denise's real toast, the one she's been practicing at home. How did you... Camila has her ways, I smiled grimly. Let's just say the mother of the groom should invest in better home security. As we left the Rose Suite, I paused in the doorway. Tomorrow, this room would witness a different kind of promise. Not of love, but of reckoning. Lock it, I told Francisco. No one enters until after the reception. Why after? I thought of Savannah's smirk, of Denise's cruel words, of Casey's betrayal. Because that's when they'll need somewhere private to cry. You can't hide forever, Savannah's voice rang through my office. I know you're connected to Jessica somehow. I watched through the security feed as she cornered Francisco in the garden. The rehearsal dinner was in full swing, but she'd managed to slip away, right on schedule. Savannah, Francisco sighed. I haven't spoken to Jessica in years. You know that. Then why did you buy into this estate? Why all the secrecy? She stepped closer, running a finger down his tie. Tell me who the owner is, and I'll make it worth your while. That's enough. I emerged from behind the topiary, still wearing my signature mask. Mr. Francisco is my business partner, Miss Wright, not your personal information source. Savannah spun around, cheeks flushed. I was just leaving, I finished. The rehearsal dinner awaits. Once she stormed off, Francisco turned to me. You didn't have to... Yes, I did. I removed my mask. Because this ends now. Inside, I found Savannah whispering furiously to Denise by the bar. Through my earpiece, I heard every word. Something's wrong, Savannah hissed. The owner knows things. About Jessica, about us. Keep your voice down, Denise snapped. Nothing can ruin tomorrow. I've waited too long to watch that gold digger's replacement take her proper place. My phone buzzed. Esther had sent a video file. You need to see this. Now. I ducked into a side room and pressed play. It was security footage from 3 years ago, the day I was arrested. There was Denise, meeting with a bank manager, money changing hands, documents being signed. Oh my God, I whispered, calling Esther. Where did you get this? Kennedy found it, she said. The bank manager kept it as insurance. He's willing to testify that Denise paid him to file false fraud charges against you. My hands shook. They didn't just destroy my marriage. They tried to destroy my life. Jessica? Camilla's voice came through my earpiece. Denise is about to practice her toast. You'll want to hear this. I switched camera feeds. Denise stood in an empty hallway, index cards in hand, speaking to her reflection in a decorative mirror. Today, we celebrate love's triumph over greed, she practiced. When Jessica tried to trap my son with her barren womb and gold-digging ways, I knew I had to act. The fraud charges were just the beginning. By the time we finished, she had nothing. No money, no friends, no future. And tomorrow my son marries a real woman, one worthy of the right name. The mirror cracked under my fist before I realized I'd moved. Jessica, Francisco rushed in. Your hand. I'm fine. Blood dripped from my knuckles. Just fine. No, you're not. He wrapped my hand in his handkerchief. This is exactly what they want, to make you lose control. Did you hear her? They planned it all. The charges, the isolation, everything. And tomorrow, they'll pay for it. Legally, publicly, perfectly. He squeezed my good hand. Don't let them make you the villain of this story. My phone buzzed again. A message from Kennedy. Final piece arrived. Footage of Martina admitting to Harvey that she's been embezzling. Ready when you are. Through the window, I watched the rehearsal dinner continue. Casey laughing with his groomsmen. Martina showing off her ring. Denise holding court with her society friends. Savannah watching everything like a hawk. They look so happy, I said quietly. So certain they've won. Pride before the fall, Francisco replied. Jessica? Camilla appeared in the doorway. There's something else. The wedding planner's assistant just quit. Said Martina had a meltdown about the roses. I smiled despite my throbbing hand. Perfect. Have her file a formal complaint. Add it to tomorrow's evidence. Already done. Camila hesitated. But Martina's demanding to meet the owner, tonight. She's threatening to cancel if you don't show. Francisco grabbed my arm. Don't. I have to. I pulled my mask back on. One last meeting before tomorrow's grand finale. Be careful, he warned. Cornered animals bite hardest. I found Martina in the bridal suite, surrounded by wedding gowns and empty champagne bottles. Finally, she slurred, the mysterious owner graces me with their presence. You wanted to meet? I wanted to know who's trying to ruin my wedding. She stumbled closer. The renovations, the changes, the staff complaints. You're working with her, aren't you? With Jessica? I kept my voice steady. I don't know any Jessica. Liar! She hurled a champagne glass past my head. I won't let that barren bitch ruin my perfect day. I stepped over the broken glass. Miss Davidson, I suggest you get some sleep. Tomorrow's a big day. Yes, she sneered. Tomorrow I become Mrs. Wright. And you'll still be hiding behind that mask. I paused at the door. We'll see who's hiding tomorrow, Martina. We'll see. Wedding bells chimed across the estate as I watched the security feeds. Guests filed in, draped in designer labels and dripping with jewellery. News crews set up their cameras. Everything exactly as planned. The mother of the groom has arrived, Camilla announced through my earpiece. I switched cameras. There was Denise, resplendent in purple silk, practicing her speech in the mirror one last time. Ready? Francisco asked, adjusting his tie. Born ready. I smoothed my black designer dress. No mask today. No hiding. The ceremony began. I watched from my office as Casey stood at the altar, beaming with the same fake smile he had once given me. Martina floated down the aisle in a gown that cost more than most people's homes. Till death do us part, they promised. Just like we had. The reception kicked off with champagne and forced laughter. I monitored everything through the feeds. Savannah flirting with the cameraman, Martina's father looking worried as he checked his phone, Casey working the room like the politician he'd always wanted to be. It's time, Kennedy's voice came through my earpiece. Denise is heading for the microphone. I stood, straightening my spine. Positions, everyone. The clinking of glass echoed through the ballroom as Denise called for attention. The cameras turned toward her, red lights blinking. Today, she began, voice dripping honey, we celebrate not just love, but triumph. The triumph of true love over those who would destroy it with their greed and deception. The crowd murmured appreciatively. They knew exactly who she meant. My son Casey has finally found his real soulmate, after escaping a woman who tried to trap him with lies and manipulation. I stepped out of the shadows, moving silently through the crowd. Some women, Denise continued, her voice hardening, think they can buy their way into our world. They fake infertility to gain sympathy. They steal from honest businessmen. Actually, I said clearly into my own microphone, I believe you're thinking of your new daughter-in-law. The room froze. Denise's champagne glass slipped from her fingers, shattering on the marble floor. Security! Savannah screamed, but the security team, my security team, didn't move. Jessica, Casey whispered, face draining of colour. I climbed the steps to the stage, each click of my heels echoing in the stunned silence. What is she doing here? Martina shrieked, grabbing Casey's arm. Daddy, do something! But Harvey Davidson stood rooted, staring at the documents Kennedy had just handed him, proof of his daughter's embezzlement. As the owner of this estate, I said into the microphone, I'm afraid I have to end this reception early. Owner, Denise choked. Impossible. Harvey sold it to me? I smiled. Through a holding company, of course. I've learned a few things about hiding assets. Haven't I, Casey? The cameras swiveled between us, drinking in every moment. You see, I continued, your rental contract has a very specific morality clause. No harassment, no illegal activities, no false accusations. And I'm afraid... I gestured to the screens around the ballroom, which began playing Denise's practice speeches, Savannah's attempted seductions, Martina's drunken confessions. You've violated every single one. You can't do this. Casey stepped forward. We have rights. Like the rights you gave me when you emptied our accounts? I turned to the nearest camera. Or when your mother paid to have me falsely arrested? The crowd gasped. Phones came out, recording everything. Security, I said calmly. Please escort the wedding party out. They're trespassing. This is ridiculous. Denise lunged for me, but Francisco caught her arm. Careful, he warned. Assault charges wouldn't look good on top of everything else. Everything else? Savannah's voice shook. The fraud. Kennedy stepped forward, legal documents in hand. The blackmail, the embezzlement. Would you like me to continue? Martina suddenly bolted for the door, but Harvey's voice stopped her. Don't bother running to the airport, dear. I've already frozen your accounts. The cameras caught everything. Denise's collapse, Savannah's tears, Casey's desperate attempts to maintain dignity as security led them out. Martina's mascara-streaked face as her father turned his back on her. You've ruined everything, Casey hissed as he passed me. No, I replied softly. You did that all on your own. The guests began filing out, whispering and typing frantically on their phones. Within hours, this would be everywhere. Social media, news sites, gossip columns. I stood alone on the stage, watching my revenge unfold exactly as planned. Through my earpiece, I heard Francisco's quiet voice. Was it worth it? I looked around the ballroom, at the scattered flowers, the abandoned champagne glasses, the broken dreams of a family that had once broken me. Ask me tomorrow, I whispered back. Right now, we have some trash to take out. You can't do this. Martina's screams echoed through the marble foyer as security escorted her out. Daddy, tell them who we are. Harvey just shook his head, still clutching the evidence of her embezzlement. Who you are. Right now you're just another criminal being removed from private property. Criminal? Denise pushed past the guards. How dare you? Do you know who we are? I stepped forward. Yes, I know exactly who you are. You're the woman who paid to have me falsely arrested. The mother who helped her son steal everything I'd built. The society queen who mocked my infertility while knowing your son was the one who couldn't. Shut up! Casey lunged at me, but Francisco caught him. Careful, Francisco warned. Assault charges would really complicate your upcoming fraud trial. The cameras caught everything. Every ugly word, every desperate grab for dignity, every mask of superiority crumbling into rage. My lawyers will destroy you, Savannah spat, mascara running down her cheeks. Kennedy stepped forward, tablet in hand. Your lawyers? You mean the ones who just received proof that you blackmailed half of Boston's elite, including their own partners? Savannah's face went white. Oh yes, I smiled. Those secret files you kept. Not so secret anymore. You bitch! Martina hurled her bouquet at me. It fell pathetically short. You planned this whole thing. Actually, I picked up the fallen flowers. You planned it. I just provided the stage, and the cameras, and the evidence. Speaking of which, the screens in the foyer lit up with security footage. Denise bribing the bank manager, Savannah seducing business partners, Martina admitting to stealing from her father's company. Turn those off! Denise shrieked. Why? Isn't this what you wanted? An audience for your perfect family drama? Casey stepped forward, trying one last time. Jessica, please. We can talk about this. Like we talked about our marriage, our company, the money you stole. I moved closer, lowering my voice. Or should we talk about how you knew I wasn't infertile? How you hid your own medical results while letting your mother destroy me? His face crumpled. Behind him, Denise gasped. That's right, Denise. Your precious son is the one shooting blanks. Not that it matters now. Martina's been on birth control the whole time. Hasn't she, Martina? Martina's sob confirmed it. Casey spun to face her, realization dawning. You said you wanted children right away. I wanted your money, she screamed. But Daddy cut me off, and now... She choked on her words, mascara-stained tears flowing freely. Security, I nodded. I believe these people are still trespassing. As they were led out, Denise turned back one last time. You think you've won? We'll sue, we'll... You'll what? Kennedy interrupted. Use the money you don't have? The reputation you just lost? The lawyers who were about to be disbarred. Through the glass doors, we could see reporters swarming. Camera flashes lit up the night like lightning. "You thought I was your tragedy," I called after them. "Turns out, I was your karma." The doors closed on their shocked faces. Inside, the remaining guests whispered and recorded everything on their phones. Tomorrow, this would be everywhere. "Jessica," Francisco touched my arm. "The police are here, ready to take statements about the fraud charges." I nodded, watching through the windows as my ex-family faced the media circus outside. Casey trying to shield his face, Martina crying into her father's shoulder, Savannah being served with legal papers right there on the steps. Was it everything you hoped for? Esther appeared beside me, offering a glass of champagne. Better. I took the glass. Because I didn't just destroy their wedding, I destroyed their whole carefully constructed lie. "The news is already going viral," Camilla reported, checking her phone. "Society wedding becomes public arrest. Fraud family exposed. Estate owner serves justice instead of cake." I laughed despite myself. Through the chaos, I caught Casey's eye one last time as police led him to their car. In that moment, I saw what I'd been waiting for. Recognition. He finally understood what he'd thrown away. "Ms. Woods," a detective approached. "We're ready for your statement about the financial fraud." "Of course." I handed my champagne to Francisco. "Make sure everyone gets home safely. And, Francisco." "Yes?" "Have them send the wedding video to every society magazine in Boston. I want their humiliation preserved for posterity." As I followed the detective, I heard Martina's final scream from outside. This was supposed to be my perfect day. I smiled. It was. Just not for her. Behind me, the estate stood proud and changed, no longer a monument to old money and fake smiles, but a testament to justice served cold, with a side of karma. And we were just getting started. And how did it feel watching your ex-husband being arrested at his own wedding? Ellen Martinez leaned forward, microphone ready. "My 5th interview this week." "Honestly?" I sipped my water. "I felt nothing. That's the real victory." The studio audience murmured. They wanted drama, tears, rage. Instead, they got serenity. "Nothing?" Ellen pressed. "After everything they did? The time for feelings passed when justice arrived." I smiled. "But you should ask Denise how she felt watching her son's perp walk go viral." The audience laughed. The clip played on the screen behind us, Denise screaming at reporters as Casey was led away in handcuffs. After the interview, Francisco waited in the green room. Ready for the next battle? Denise's lawyers filed another appeal. "No?" He grinned. "The estate just got booked solid for next season. Apparently, everyone wants to host their event at the venue that served justice instead of wedding cake." My phone buzzed. A message from Savannah. "Please, I'll tell you everything. Just call off the lawyers." "Delete," I told Francisco. "Same as the others." Speaking of messages, he handed me a tablet. Martina's father sent over the final settlement offer. He's willing to testify about the embezzlement in exchange for a lighter sentence for himself. Accept it. He was just another victim of their greed. The studio door opened. Esther rushed in, waving her phone. "You need to see this." A video played. Denise at some charity lunch, drunk and ranting. That estate was supposed to be our legacy, my son's future. Now some jumped up, nobody thinks she can. The video cut off as security dragged her away. "Posted an hour ago," Esther said. "Already trending." Poor Denise, I mused. Still fighting a war she already lost. "Ms. Woods?" A production assistant appeared. "There's someone here to see you. Says she's an old friend." Camilla stepped in, but her usual smile was missing. "We have a situation. Savannah's threatening to jump from the estate's balcony. Live on Instagram." "What?" "She's demanding to talk to you. Says she'll reveal everything about what they did, but only to you." I grabbed my coat. "Call Kennedy. Have her meet us there with the police." At the estate, police had already surrounded the building. Savannah stood on the Rose Suites balcony, mascara streaked, designer dress torn. "I'll do it," she screamed at the officers below. "I'll jump unless Jessica comes up here." "Let me handle this." A crisis negotiator stepped forward, but I stopped him. "No, She wants an audience? Fine. I took the stairs slowly, hearing Savannah's sobs through the door. It wasn't supposed to be like this, she cried when I entered. We were just protecting our family. By destroying mine. You weren't one of us. You didn't understand. What? That money matters more than morality? That family means covering up crimes? She stepped closer to the edge. You've ruined everything. No, Savannah, you ruined everything. The moment you helped Casey plan his betrayal. The moment you chose greed over basic human decency. I had to, she screamed. Mother said if the company split, if you got your fair share, we'd lose everything. And now you've lost it anyway. She swayed on the ledge. I can't go to prison. I can't be poor. I can't what? Face consequences? Live like the rest of us? I moved closer. Jump if you want. Add one more tragedy to your family's legacy. Or what? Or tell the truth. All of it. Help us prosecute the real architects of this scheme. Your mother and Casey. Choose redemption over pride. Savannah's shoulders slumped. Behind her, the sun set over my estate, my kingdom built from their ashes. They'll hate me, she whispered. They already hate everyone, including themselves. She stepped down from the ledge, crumpling into a heap of expensive silk and broken delusions. As the police led her away, Francisco joined me on the balcony. That was dangerous. No, I watched Savannah's police car disappear. That was closure. And now, I turned to survey my estate. No longer a monument to their wealth, but a testament to justice. Every room held memories of their downfall. Every corner echoed with Karma's laughter. Now, I smiled, now we build something better, something real. The media's calling you the Queen of Karma, he chuckled. Good. I straightened my crown, metaphorically speaking, because Karma needed a better spokesperson than what goes around comes around. Below, cameras flashed as Savannah's arrest made headlines. Tomorrow would bring more interviews, more legal battles, more attempts by the Wright family to reclaim their narrative. But they'd learn what I already knew. Silence isn't weakness. Patience isn't surrender. And karma isn't just a concept. Sometimes karma wears designer heels and owns the building you're standing in. And she never, ever forgets.